But this is from the Wanwo company. This is a gas strut monitor arm. There's their basic instructions here. A couple different components. They all install pretty similarly. Now there's two kinds of installation here. If you take a look at this, there is the grommet insulation, which they call it here, which is if you're going to drill a hole, and it's not a very big hole. You're talking, more like I think a 7/16 hole, less than ½ inch, and you can put that grommet through, maybe even less. Or if you have an option to maybe use a C-clamp, you don't want to adjust your table to match, you can just C-clamp around it. Some desks you can't get behind them against a wall, so you might use the grommet installation. I like this style because it makes it really easy to install when you have this separate plate. So some don't have that. So there's the base, it looks like here. So that's a stud. There's going to be a cord protector and holder. There's going to be your adjustment tools. Looks like here we've got the screw kit for how we're going to attach the monitor. I'm guessing the MA screws are going to be the ones that we need. And so that's nice that it included those, because a lot of times people will lose the ones that come with their monitor, and so you're going to be stuck. So this is a cool thing to do. So here we go. This is the base for the unit here, and this is the C-clamp. So we're going to follow the instructions. We got one more piece in the box, and that is the, looks like the lower side of the arm. So that's going to connect something like so, and then the upper part will connect to that. So really easy to put together. You can do this in just a few minutes. This one has such a low VESA mounting point that when we adjust it, I won't doubt that we'll get the monitor up to this high, and we can tilt it and move it around, do some really neat things. One installation is if we're going to do the clamp mount here. So first thing they're telling us to do is to take this piece and flip it over. And it looks like this has to connect here with those tapered screws. Now, if you don't have a drill and you don't have all the other stuff, they should include everything you need. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm putting the bottom of the C-clamp down, and I'm going to add this screw that they gave me. So for them, they want me to unscrew the plate that's here. When it comes from the factory here, it's going to be upside down. So unscrew that plate. We're going to run this unit through, just so it gives us that padding to attach to the desk. So I'm going to run it through that top hole. I'm going to take this and I'm going to reattach it here. You can tighten that screw before you put it on with these upper base pieces if you want. So I'm just going to tighten those. I literally just attach it to the edge of the desk. Now, don't use these on glass desks. That's one recommendation that they have. On a glass desk, this can be very dangerous because they can break. It puts a weird pressure point on the desk. But if you've got a picnic table, maybe you're doing a quick temporary thing, this is a much sturdier way to mount your monitor. Now I'm going to take the second piece here that they mentioned. I'm going to slide that down and make sure it's in. Next piece, I'm just double checking that they don't have locks. Some of these will actually have locks. Now if you look at this from the front here and I push down, it's got a gas strut, so there's actually a lot of positive pressure here, and you're going to use this to tighten. So if the monitor is tilting and drooping down, that it actually has a little indicator to go up or down. So if I want it tighter, I turn the screw tighter. If I want it looser so it droops more, I turn it less. So that's one adjustment. The next adjustment is actually right here, and it's on the elbow. And you adjust this. If you want it to be tighter, you actually loosen this nut. If you want it to be less, you tighten it. So it's a very weird backwards thing to what you would think. So there you go. Just be super careful again when you're doing this. I like the fact that this comes in two pieces because it allows me to do all the work on the monitor separately. That's what we're going to do now. So over here, I took the center piece out. So then the next thing we do is we take this plate here. Now there's two sizes on here. There's VESA 70 or VESA, whatever you want to call it. Tomato. There's VESA 75, which means these are 75 millimeters apart, or 7.5 centimeters. And there's 100, which is these ones out here. And even for your big flat screen televisions, they actually have these that go out several hundreds here. I'm putting this plate in. Make sure you put the plate so where that hole is at the top, because that little hole on the base here is going to allow us to tension this when we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down. That's it. We're all done. That was that fast. So I've got this connector here that's waiting for the monitor. I'm going to go ahead and put this monitor on now. So we're going to take this monitor and put it up here and on right now. And then I can take this safety screw. The safety screw doesn't hold any weight at all. It's just to keep the monitor from jumping off of here if you lift on it, because you may need to lift on it to adjust it. So looks like it's holding up pretty good. It is at the highest setting right now. I'll show you how high that is. Remember the stand on this thing was so small? Look how high this holds this monitor. This would be great for up there for your chats. So I could have a monitor up there. That's at the highest setting. Now, when you're sitting in an office chair, you may need it that low for like my kids when they're playing flight simulators or something. Maybe you want to have 2 monitors. So you put this guy on a gas strut. You can even tilt it at a downward angle like that. You see how that works? So you can tilt this at really any angle. Again, this is from Wanwo. This is their gas strut monitor arm. Now, it has a little bit too much push. You see how it kind of moves itself up from that position? So what we're going to do is really quickly, we're going to adjust it at this elbow joint. So I talked to you guys about that earlier. So if I want to lessen the force that it has, I tighten this screw. Now I already just felt it drop a little bit. So now when I set it at every setting, you see how it just stays at those settings? That's exactly where we want it. So that's perfect. So that is the gas strut from Wanwo. I could set this wherever I want. Now, if you're going up against a wall, what I would recommend, you see that the point of installation is right here, and now this is completely flat. So if you're going up against a flat wall, sometimes people make the mistake and they put the mount in the center of their desk. You want to offset it slightly, just because this arm has to come back a little bit. So you can either offset it quite a bit or not. And again, this is a 30-inch ultra wide, and you see how far away it is from the base. You could actually put another one right here and another 30-inch monitor if you had 2 of these. So that's how this one works. And again, that was the C-clamp base mounting. There are 2 other options, or there's one other option for mounting here, which is if we wanted to take this ready rod is what we call it, but use this threaded screw, and you could put this in and then run it through to the bottom, and you don't use the C-clamp piece, you just use this, and you can go right through desk. That's actually how my microphone arm is mounted back here, is using a grommet. Another thing I didn't show on this one yet, which is if you have cables, there's going to be this cable hiding feature, so you can add that here. It just slides in, and then that locks in. So that's going to hide your cords and make your cords follow your monitor so they don't fall out, which is kind of cool. So that's from Wanwo. That was our first product.